the pigs run off the cliff
Yeah, it
into
sounds like they ran off the
ocean
cliff.
and drown. So no good.
Yeah.
Like 2,000 pigs running. It is a scary. I'll tell you what.
Oh, I mean, someone should make a fucking movie, man. Like, that's a great scene. Not of the pigs. I've never heard of anything like that.
The Bible has horror stories in it.
Well, of course.
Quite a few.
The Bible is horror for a lot of it. Like, the Bible, I'm sorry. I love horror, so it's a compliment. But the Bible is largely a horror story. I mean, particularly, you got all the plagues. Hello. Like, we make movies from these ideas.
We got all the plagues. Hello.
But then again, this comes back to my premise that I make sure to, push every time I get a chance. Life is horror. That is what it is.
That sounds like a popular mantra that the people want to hear.
I think so too. I think life is horror is in a way my platform, my brand. And you can start hashtag life is. Anyway, whatever. Let me get back to my story of my childhood. So what had happened was
is this video confession though? I mean, are we talking about
No, I don't confess anything. Nothing's wrong. It's a tale.
All right.
It's a story.
All right. Very well.
I confess nothing. So when I was younger, I had rescued rescued might not be correct. I may have stolen a baby duckling. I was young. I didn't know. Maybe my parents should have stopped me, but I don't know. This was the old world. You could just do things and people didn't immediately condemn you for being a monster. So I don't know. It seemed very innocent to be like, oh, just let her have a baby duck. So I took a baby duck home and it died, of course, because it's probably needed to be with its mother. But what my grandmother told me was that, and this was what my mother told me too, and that side of my family is Santera. They believe in Santeria. Not my mom, but my grandma, yes. And she had told me that the baby duck died because it protected us from a sickness that was going to fall upon a human. So this is an interesting idea. I don't have a lot of background for it, but it's in the same vein of this idea that there can be some kind of plague that can be passed to an animal to save the human. And I think that's a really interesting idea because it kind of seems that it conceptualizes suffering as almost alive in a way, in that you can transfer it and move it away, take it out and do things with it like this, as opposed to the more medical view of it that would never see something like that. You would not transfer your cancer onto someone else or some duck or something. You have to treat it within the body. You missed the story, buddy.
No, I didn't miss
away.
it. I didn't miss it. I heard it. My headphones are wireless.
Oh.
So I can hear voices in my head from distances, just like the ancient Greeks. Look,
yeah, that's fine. I'm sure that's good for us all.
I reject the idea of taking your burdens and offsetting them into animals, because I think that's a bad idea. That's no good. You got to
You're against that.
I'm against it. You have to rock out to your own burdens and deal with them.
Exactly. Unless what was this guy's name? I am Legion.
Mm-hmm. Well, he had another name, like probably Johnny or something, but it wasn't Legion. He wasn't born Legion, no. But he was probably Johnny Smith or whatever. From
if you're that guy, though, maybe you need 2,000 pigs. It sounded like he had a trouble.
All right. So Johnny Gergesene, we're done with this. At the end of the day, though, one thing that happens. I'm having fun with this one.
No.
At the end of the day, Jesus casts out the demons. The guy, Johnny Gergesene, is like better now. But the people of the area are not really into it. They're like, "Can you leave, Jesus?" And he's like, "All right." And because and there's a bunch of theories of why this is. Well, I mean, he did just like 2,000 pigs or whatever it was. That's a lot of pigs to just be thrown into the lake. No good. And then anyway, so Jesus, the guy, Johnny Gergesene, is like, "Can I come with you?" And Jesus is like, "Nah, stay here. Tell everybody all the stuff I did." And he's like, "All right." And so then he stays there. Anyway, that's the story of Legion.
I love that.
I mean, it's pretty scary.
That's a great story.
It is a great story.
The way you told it wasn't as great. You didn't tell it like a true horror story, and that's fine.
I can do it. I'll record another version of it.
All right, we'll
in
cut
my
in
horror story podcast voice.
Is that what that is?
No one knows what that is.
Sounds like your sex hotline.
Is it? I know that's not what it's supposed to be. That's not what it's supposed to be.
All right. It's your smooth jazz radio voice.
It is
Fine.
my smooth jazz voice.
All right, moving on. So let's try to rein it back in here.
I'm off the chain. I'm off the chain like Johnny Gergesine.
Yeah. Well, we can only have one person off the chain at once.
I really like calling him Johnny Gergesine. In my translation, the Bible, that guy's name is going to be Johnny Gergesine.
I'm sure he would be fine with that.
I hope so. I hope he's fine. I hope the pigs are fine. I hope everybody's fine.
They're not.
Where did Legion go, though? It's also interesting that Jesus was like, okay, what? It is. It's interesting to me. Where
did Legion go, though?
Well, but
it's a fair question.
In different versions of this, like, it's interesting because Legion kind of like talks to Jesus, like, hey, let me get out of here. You don't have to, like, let me keep on being around in something else. Because
let me rock on to another place.
Yeah, and Jesus accepts that. That's kind of weird, right? Like, he's not
what do you mean Jesus accepted that? What did Jesus... I thought Jesus said, yeah, but in a pig that goes into the ocean.
Yeah, but I think that I'd have to go back and look at online Bible. I think Legion
He
asks for that. They're like, can I do that? Can I go into the pigs? And he's like, okay. Whereas you'd think now Jesus would be like, go to hell, demons, where you belong. But that's not what's going on. He's like, okay.
See, that would be a shittier movie, though. That's the thing. Jesus is the main character. This is a well-written fucking story. Jesus isn't going to be like, go to hell. No, the movie would end and it would be fucking...
In my action movie version of this,
that
Jesus
would not be
like,
a movie that we would cover on this podcast.
Go straight to hell.
Exactly.
And then they were,
movie's over. And see, what I like about this, if this is accurate, we don't know because you didn't study your fucking Bible. So, but from what it sounds like this is the idea, though, that evil never dies. And I really like that, though. That's a good writing there for the Bible, once again, because it is true. In a way, you can't vanquish evil from existence. You can merely remove it or get away from it or postpone it in some way. And I mean, and this is why we're going a little bit of a tangent here.
I'll go on a tangent. If I were to write
all right.
If I were to write,
you can't interrupt my tangent.
Yeah, I can. We'll go tangentially.
Okay.
If I were to write a modern horror story, what I would have is a bunch of college kids on summer break. They go to this lake, wherever that lake is around the Gergesenes in modern times, and they're like, hey.
Never been done before, yeah.
And they're like, yeah, let's go swimming in the lake, guys. And then they go swim in the lake, but then they get
pigs.
possessed. They get possessed by all the demons that used to be in the pigs that had just been hanging out in the lake for 2,000 years waiting. But
no.
Theoretically, there would have been people
Okay, so here's what's
got
to happen, though. You got to have, like, a scene where one of the dead, decrepit pigs floats up because they never fully rotted because they have evil in them.
That's right.
And so, like, some kid is like, oh, my gosh, what's on the floor? And then, like, this, like,
good.
nasty, gross, rotting pig floats up. And they're like, what the fuck?
Oh, and it just starts talking.
The pig? No, you're killing. You're jumping the shark a little.
Are you sure?
The pig doesn't need to talk. It's already rotting and floating.
Are we going to go all the way, or are we going to... Okay, it's a little more subtle.
Okay,
I
and
agree.
then Jesus comes out and says, go to hell.
I was going to say that. On top of the mountain, that he's, like, holding a machine gun. He's like, go straight to hell. And then he starts, like, firing the machine gun into the lake.
Oh, my
I don't know, man.
Make the movie. Pay us, and we'll make the movie. Don't pay us to make. I can't make that movie. I would really fuck it up.
I can make that movie. We can make that
Michael
movie right
Bay
now.
Make the shit out of that movie.
Me and you, we write it right now.
Explosion. I mean, it's written. Jesus wrote it. He wrote it.
He didn't write it. Other people wrote it.
No, he wrote it.
Okay, fine. That's fair.
All right. Let's go. Oh no, my tangent. You fucking
Sorry.
That's why you can do that. Here's the thing. This is why I got into a little trouble recently on Twitter. Not really, because I don't fight with losers. I just let them get mad at me, and then I just ignore them. But did you spit out a drink?
Just the concept of I got in a fight on Twitter. You know how I feel about Twitter.
You know how I feel about it. I took a week off of it, and I'm like alive. I'm not even joking. I feel alive. Do you understand? I wake up early. I have joy in my life. I feel peace. I have goals and motivation. Just because I remember, I'm not even joking. I was like having a great time on my life, and then I was like, let me just look at it really quick. The first tweet I saw was from a journalist, a real person, not just some fucking asshole talking shit. A person that's usually well-balanced, purposely uses Twitter as a journalist just for, like, life, not tweeting, like, bullshit and trying to get into fights. And her first tweet popped up and it was like, horrible day on Twitter. I'm getting off of here. And I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not even going to look. Close.
I
Done.
promise never to interrupt you again. Not really. But one more time, I will say this. Think about this. Maybe Twitter is Legion. Because all you're really doing is getting a bunch of disembodied voices floating into your head, and then you become
It's kind of like
possessed.
schizophrenia, okay? In a way, no offense to someone that has real schizophrenia, because ours is stupid. Because we pick up our phone and give it to ourselves and, like, decide to consume a million idiotic voices constantly. That's dumb. If you have real schizophrenia, that's really serious and intense, and that's a little more respectable. That's a little more respectable.
You're trying to be serious. You're trying to be serious about mental illness, and you call it respectable. Let's move on. Let's move on from Twitter. All right.
What the fuck is a respectacle?
It's the word of the podcast for next podcast. I'll tell you that.
It should exist. It might be a respectacle. That's what you, like, do with someone that you respect, but you don't really want to have anything to do with them. You put them in a respectacle and you leave them alone. Like that lady that was like, this Twitter sucks, I'm getting off. I was like, respectacle.
I was thinking of it as spectacles, like something like spectacles you put on in order to respect people.
Ooh. That's interesting.
These
like,
are not
those help you
respectacles.
respect? No, they're not.
No, they don't. Okay.
I
feel like I have brought you way off on tangents.
Still take me off my No, don't worry. I have still remember my tangent. Okay, so here's the thing. Whatever. We're going back to the concept of evil doesn't die. I am Legion going into the pigs in the ocean, and then what happens? We don't know. Here's the thing. People got mad because I was like, look, it's really stupid to be all excited that Rush Limbaugh or some fucking asshole died, as if, like, Rush Limbaugh was Legion. Okay? That's what it is like. It's literally people acting as if some politician or some fucking asshole. He's an asshole. It's fine. He's a fucking asshole. You can say that. It's totally true. Just because he died doesn't mean there's no more assholes left. That's dumb. That's like peasant shit. Being like, oh, the leader has died. We are saved. No, you're not. Because evil cannot die. And that's
calling Rush Limbaugh. I'm not a fan.
Limbaugh is evil.
I'm not a huge fan, but you just said evil cannot die. That's a little harsh. A little bit of a harsh indictment.
I mean, he was a dick. It's fine. It's not like I was like, I don't know. Here's the thing also, like, how personally affected are you by a radio host, old man, talking mad shit, very horrible, being a dick on the radio, okay? I'm sure he, was not great for the culture and everything, but also I am fine. I don't know. I just think it's not. So
people got mad at you for saying I am fine.
Yeah, people got mad at me because they're like, what about Hitler? And I was like, well, do you still have fucking Nazis? Yeah, you do, because one person cannot die and remove all of the malice and harm from the world. That's why getting so uppity about someone that you don't like dying is a useless waste of energy and a false focus. Because just like Legion, all of the evil that you think in the world that is somehow magically tied to one mortal body, it doesn't die. It jumps into the ocean, and then you don't know what happens to it. Did those pigs die? We don't know.
Let's consider this also as a possibility.
This is an extremely unhinged podcast.
What about a nutraceutical called Legion that you can take that gives you strength?
Wow.
Because if you really think about it, this guy was pumped. He was like, being able to...
He was psychotic, yeah.
Well...
And that could be the byline. Like, do you want to be as strong as a psychotic?
That's probably not FDA approved. Okay.
I mean...
I'm just trying to think out. I'm not
gonna make any jokes. We're getting to an offensive route. I was gonna say, is the vaccine?
Oh, man. Yeah, I gotta. Edit
I
that
approve
out.
of it. It's fine.
Do
Make
you-
your
well, as
decision.
long
Don't
as
be a
you
fucking
approve
asshole.
of it with all of your medical knowledge.
Exactly. I am the FDA.
Right, transferring spirits into ducks, and okay, so yeah, as long as
Hey,
you.
it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
It was Legion. Like, that's how you get out of problems.
I
It
feel
was
like-
Legion.
I feel like I have successfully derailed this podcast.
Well, we're not done.